I finally decided to have the surgery after 10 years of doing a lot of research. I spent a lot of time contemplating it. I've struggled with obesity since I was 10 years old. And my weight just kind of gained and grew out of proportion. I was weighing at my highest 280 pounds. And since the gastric bypass surgery, I've lost 155 pounds. I had gone on a trip home to South Africa, and the plane ride was 20 hours. And after being on an airplane in a seat that I could barely fit in for 20 hours, I almost didn't want to come back just because of the plane ride, having to sit in an airplane seat. And that was in June. And 3 months later, I was on the operating table getting the gastric bypass. So I decided to go with Lenox Hill bariatric program because I found that I wanted to really be with someone that had this is all they need to do. I shopped around. I went to many, many different doctors. In fact, one doctor offered to do it for free because he said, I'm just kind of trying this out. I've done 2 or 3 patients. And I went, oh my God. I just said, I want somebody that this is all they do. I want them to eat, breathe, and sleep gastric bypass. And when I met Dr. Sean, he just had such a wonderful personality and such a calm demeanor. And I felt like my life was in his hands. And I was just so worried. And he really put me at ease and assured me I was going to be in safe hands, and I trusted him. You know, I was thinking also about these chairs. When I first came into Lenox Hill, to the waiting area, I was looking at these huge, big chairs, thinking to myself, why do they have such big chairs? And I realized it was because they were sensitive to the obese patient. They didn't just assume, because how many times we would go places we couldn't fit into chairs, or we couldn't, you know, fit into airplane seats, and here they were being really sensitive to their patients, and I really appreciated that. They really show that this is, you know, something that they've invested their thought and their time and their attention in. Things that are more important to me now are things like wanting to be there for my family, wanting to have a baby, things I never thought I would ever get to have and do. Living in New York City and being in Manhattan, you want to walk and explore the city. I used to always complain and like, oh, can we get in a cab? I was always cabbing everything everywhere, getting in cars, driving. Now I love it. I walk for hours and hours and I don't even notice it. I was shocked that they took such good care of you after surgery. I mean, the nutritionist who's Sharon, she is amazing. Sharon will be there from emails to phone calls. You've basically got a nutritionist in your life for the rest of your life. My greatest wow moment, I think, when I realized one day when I hugged my mom, and I hugged her, and all of a sudden she felt so much closer to me. Every time I would hug, I would be out here. And you could never really get close to somebody. And then suddenly you feel this closeness and it's touching your body. And I just remember the tears, like the whole hug. I'd been hugging my mother my whole life. But all of a sudden I'm hugging her and she feels closer to me than I've ever felt in my entire life. And I realized it was a physical closeness that I could feel. Dr. Shaw said to me when he first operated on me, remember, we didn't operate on your brain, we operated on your stomach. Because I remember waking up going, I'm still fantasizing about eating a steak or a chicken Alfredo, and I was having these fantasies of food all the time. And I realized it's a mind thing, it's a brain thing, and that doesn't go away. You have to really work on that. At one point, about 15 years ago, I also took diet pills, and I lost, at that time it was 85 pounds, which brought me down to 135 pounds, which is still 10 pounds more than I weigh now. And I thought, wow, I did it, I'm all skinny. And then 3 months later, I was right back to where I started. Well, you know, I mean, I had a fear as well that I would fail, because I said I had done this before, 15 years ago or so, and I'd failed. And so it was a big fear that I would fail. It's so much more permanent. And it's a tool, it's not a cure. And I keep telling people that. People keep thinking, oh, I'll have the surgery and I'll be cured, and it's not a cure. I work very, very hard at maintaining and losing. Like I said, I work out at the gym, I watch everything. I do snack, I do eat, but I'm eating healthy. If I need to eat something, I'll grab the carrot sticks, or I'll grab a no sugar added fudgesicle because I need something sweet. Or I'll eat a whole grain cracker, or, you know, but I'll eat, and I eat constantly throughout the day too. Little snacks, but healthy, always healthy. And I would tell somebody, you know, this is a lifestyle choice, and it's a change. Don't just do it because you're like, oh, every other diet in my life's failed. I'll just try this. This is not a joke. This is serious. I've taken the time to really think what was going to make the difference this time, and investing in the bariatric surgery, it was an investment for my life. I realized this was something I was going to have to make a conscious choice of for life. I was going to have to give up things and sacrifice things and know that that was what I was going to do for the rest of my life. And you have to know that before you go into surgery. Oh, I would do this over in a second, 100 times over. I can't believe I hesitated and waited so long to do it. When I first heard about it, it was so many years ago, it was like 15 years ago. I took so long to research it, but I'm glad I did. I wish I would have done it sooner, and I would do it over again, and I would tell everybody I know. In fact, I meet people in the streets and I want to run up to them and say, hey, have you heard about this gastric bypass?